Ever feel like you've messed up too many times? Like, way too many times? Well, there's this one huge idea that runs through the entire Bible, from beginning to end, and it speaks directly to that feeling. Today, we're going to dive into God's incredible, unwavering faithfulness. Okay, so this isn't just some nice, hopeful thought. It's a bold declaration from a guy named Joshua. After decades of wandering, decades of war, he stands up and says, listen up, God has a perfect track record. Think about that. He's saying not one, not a single one of God's good promises failed. Every single one came true. I mean, wow, that is a massive claim to make. But that brings up a pretty obvious question, right? If God is so faithful, why is the Bible, and let's be honest, our own lives, so full of, well, failure? It feels like one big long story of people messing up. This is the big tension, the central problem the Bible spends the rest of its pages trying to unpack. So how does the story explain this? It all boils down to one concept that is absolutely key to understanding who God is. The whole key is a Hebrew word, ḥesed. And this isn't just love like we might think of it. No, this is a loyal love, a steadfast, unwavering, covenant-keeping kind of faithfulness. It's like a stubborn commitment that just refuses to let go, even when the other person does. Honestly, it's the glue holding the entire biblical story together. And here's where it gets really interesting. This ḥesed love, it actually reveals this hidden pattern, this rhythm that's beating just beneath the surface of the whole story, especially when you look at the big promises, the covenants God makes. Okay, so here's the pattern. It's like a three-step cycle. Step 1, God gives this incredible blessing, this amazing promise. Step 2, humanity messes up. Big surprise, right? There's a failure that throws a wrench in everything. And then step 3, the most important part, God doesn't give up. He stays unwavering and finds a way to keep his plan on track anyway.
Right, so once you see this cycle, you can't unsee it. It's everywhere, starting from page 1.
I mean, just think about the Garden of Eden. Step 1, God gives Adam and Eve this incredible blessing of life and purpose. But then, almost immediately, step 2, human failure, disobedience, and everything gets broken. But even then, right in that moment of failure, what does God do? Does he scrap the whole project? No, he stays faithful. Step 3, he makes a promise that one day a seed will come and fix what's broken. That's ḥesed in action right from the very start. And then we see it again with Noah. After the flood, God renews the blessing. But what happens next? Yep, Noah fails. And in a way that sounds hauntingly familiar, like a replay of Adam's fall. The cycle just keeps on turning. And this slide just drives the point home. Look at the language here, comparing Abraham's failure to Adam's. Heeded the voice of his wife, took, gave. It's almost identical. The author is practically shouting at us, see, it's the same pattern, the same human brokenness happening all over again. And it just keeps going. The promise to Moses at Sinai, the people build a golden calf. The promise to King David, David and his whole family fail, miserably. The entire history of the nation of Israel is just this relentless, repeating story of failure. And yet, after every single one of those failures, the story always comes back to the same exact point. Despite the idol worship, despite the terrible kings, despite everything falling apart, God remained committed. His ḥesed never wavered. So this leads to the million-dollar question, right? If humans are just going to keep failing, if we can't hold up our end of the bargain, how is God's promise ever supposed to come true? And that brings us to the climax of the entire story. For thousands of years, this cycle just kept spinning. Blessing, failure, grace, repeat. Until one day, the pattern was broken. This is when Jesus arrives. He brings a new promise, a new covenant. And this one is completely different. Why? Because it's not based on our ability to be faithful. We've already proven that's not going to work. No, this one is based entirely on his perfect faithfulness. So here's the whole point. In Jesus, that endless cycle of failure finally gets shattered. He's the one who succeeds where every single person before him had failed. And because of him, God's original blessings, the whole plan from the very beginning, are restored forever. Okay, so what does this ancient story of cycles and promises have to do with you and me today? The answer is everything. Because this isn't just their story, it's our story.
You've probably heard the phrase, "Great is your faithfulness." It's from the prophet Jeremiah. But here's the part most people don't know. He wrote those words while his city was literally a pile of smoking rubble. His people were defeated, dragged into exile. Everything looked hopeless. His faith wasn't in his circumstances, it was in God's character, which it turns out shines the brightest when things are at their worst.
So let's bring this home. Let's make it personal. Just take a second and think about your own life journey. The good times, the bad times, the wins and the losses. When have you seen God's faithfulness most clearly? Maybe it was in a really tough season. When did his ḥesed, that loyal, unwavering love, show up for you when you needed it most?
And what about right now? When you feel stuck, maybe in your own cycle of messing up, how does remembering his past faithfulness give you strength for today? When you can't see what he's doing, how does knowing he has a perfect track record help you trust him anyway?
And that's really the bottom line of this whole story. The same God who kept every promise he made to Joshua, the God whose loyal love held on through generation after generation of human failure, that is the same God who is with you right now. His character hasn't changed. His commitment to you hasn't changed. His faithfulness has not changed. So hold on.